Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. We are reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 16, the pastimes of the Lord in his childhood and youth. So, if you remember, we finished reading about uh, the birth. In the pastimes began with the birth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then so that was 14, right? So birth as well as the Balya Leela, early childhood pastimes. And then we read about the Pauganda Leela. So in Pauganda Leela, we saw uh, he was learning as a student, right? Pauganda Leela is extensively about Mahaprabhu's uh, student life. And then also finally culminating in the marriage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Lakshmi Priya, isn't it? And then this chapter, chapter 16, is entitled The Pastimes of the Lord in His Later Childhood. So now he actually became a teacher. He's getting so many students. This is Kaishor Lila, and also his youth. So 16 years is youth. So in this chapter, we read that at the age of 11, he started to teach students. And then when people heard that Nimai is teaching, many students came to study under him. And also we hear about his defeating great scholars, but at the same time the people that he defeated, they never felt offended. That only the Supreme Lord could do. He would defeat them completely, but at the same time he would protect their honor. He would not insult them, so they didn't feel bad. Also, he continued his water pastimes in the Ganges. But one thing we didn't read here, but one special feature about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, even though he played pranks and uh, he joked and all that, but he would never ever joke with women or about women, right? He would, as soon as he would see, even on the road, if he would see a woman coming from a distance, he would respectfully, move aside like that. He always honored women. So then he Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to East Bengal. We read there also he got so many students, and in a matter of 2 months or something, he just whoever studied under him, they became experts in such a short time. We heard about Tapan Mishra, who, although he studied so many scriptures, he had a difficulty in understanding what is the goal of life. Hmm? So simply studying books is not sufficient. There, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells us, you don't understand the goal of life simply by studying so many different types of books and scriptures and commentaries by so many different people. That's not the way. So Tapan Mishra was disturbed by this, not knowing what is the goal of life and then how to achieve the goal of life. So in a dream, he saw a Brahman who told him to go to Nimai Pandit. So I think that's where we stopped. Being thus bewildered, he was directed by a Brahman in a dream to go to Nimai Pandit. So I think we start with text 13 today. Te ho tomara sadhya sadhana koribe nishchaya sakshat ishwara te ho nahi ko samshaya. Okay, Achintadev Prabhu. I'm not able to hear you, Prabhuji. You're on mute, but I don't hear you. Can anyone else hear Achintadev Prabhu? Is it my laptop? Nobody can hear. Okay. Okay, he'll log in again. So maybe we'll come back to Prabhuji. Isha, go ahead. Translation.
Because he is the Lord, Ishvara, the Brahmana told him, undoubtedly he can give you proper direction.
Because he is the Lord, Ishvara, the Brahman told him, undoubtedly he can give you proper. So he was worried. He was disturbed, not knowing the goal of life. So he saw this Brahman and he guided him, you go to Nimai Pandit. He will tell you the goal of life. How he is able to tell you? Because he is the Lord himself. Undoubtedly he can give you proper direction. Okay. Then Achintadev Prabhu is here again. Okay. स्वप्न देखी मिश्र आसी प्रभुर चरणे स्वप्ने वृत्तांत सब कोइला निवेदने. Prabhuji.
Can you hear me, Mataji?
Mataji, can you hear?
Yes, I can hear now.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Translation. After seeing the dream, Tapan Mishra came to the shelter of Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet and he described all the details of the dream to the Lord. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, thank you. So he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as directed by the Brahman in the dream. He went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he said, I saw a dream like this. One Brahmana came in my dream and said, I should come to you. So that's why I'm coming to you. Like that. प्रभु तुष्ट होया साध्य साधन कोहिला नाम संकीर्तन करो उपदेश कोइला. Arunita and Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
The Lord, being satisfied, instructed him about the object of life and the process for attaining it. He instructed him that the basic principle of success is to chant the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Yes.
My mom won't read.
Okay. The Lord, being satisfied, instructed him about the object of life. So this Brahmana, Tapan Mishra, yeah, he's also Brahmana. So he came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, and said, so what is the goal of life? So what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed him about the object of life. What is the object of life? And how to attain that object of life, right? So how to attain object of life is love of Godhead, and how to attain it? Mahaprabhu said the basic principle of success is to chant the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the gift we have. Chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's why this movement is called the Hare Krishna movement. We study philosophy and everything so that we can finally come to the point of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Purport. So Krishna Shish.
The Krishna consciousness movement is based upon this instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that one must chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly and according to the prescribed principles. We simply ask our Western students to chant at least 16 rounds a day. But sometimes we find that they fail to chant even these 16 rounds, and instead they bring many more austere books and a worshipping method that diverts their attention in so many ways. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult is based upon the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Lord Chaitanya first advised Tapan Mishra to fix his mind on this chanting. We, the members of the Krishna consciousness movement, must strictly follow this advice of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Very grave, serious instruction by Srila Prabhupada, actually by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and also confirmed by Srila Prabhupada. The Krishna consciousness movement is based upon this instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that one must chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly and according to the prescribed principles. We simply ask our Western students to chant at least 16 rounds a day. So whatever else we do is to get Shraddha in this, to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I want to tell you one more thing here. Just because we begin with 16 rounds, it doesn't mean that this is the highest and we are already, pure devotees because we are chanting 16 rounds. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said chant 64 rounds. Rupa Goswami said Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadhyana Avritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilaram Bhaktiruttama. That means chant continuously, right? And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, texts 8 through 12. In text 8, Krishna gives the highest form of devotional service. What is the highest form of devotional service? You fix your mind and intelligence on me 24/7. This is topmost. 24/7 your mind and intelligence is fixed on Krishna. But if you're not able to do that, then he gives next, you endeavor to think about me all the time. If you're not even able to do that, then you practice Kirtan, Shravanam like that, so that you'll come to the point of always being Krishna conscious. And if you're not even able to do that, then okay, whatever work you do little bit of chanting, and while chanting, whatever, because you have to do something, you have this body, you have to do some work or the other. Whatever work you do, you just offer to the Supreme Lord. All your work. So what are you doing by that? By that offering, you're cultivating, remembering Krishna all the time, isn't it? We have to do something or the other all the time. And do means not just with our hands and legs, even with our mind, we are thinking, with our intelligence, we are, figuring out things. So many things we are doing. Everything that you do, you just make it a practice to offer to the Lord. And also you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So why Srila Prabhupada said you chant at least 16 rounds? The purpose of Prabhupada himself is saying that we are asking our Western disciples, students, to chant at least 16 rounds a day. Why? Because sometimes we find that they fail to chant even these 16 rounds. How many of us fall in this category? Sometimes we fail to chant even 16 rounds. So if I'm not even able to chant 16 rounds, how I will do 24 hours? So therefore, to help us come to the point of becoming pure unalloyed devotees, Srila Prabhupada is giving us this. So the basic principle of this Krishna consciousness movement is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So yeah, something that we have to remind ourselves all the time. And everything else that we do is to come to the point to develop Shraddha in this, so that, because this is the only way that's going to help us in Kali Yuga. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalau nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyatha. In Kali Yuga, there's only one way, that is chanting the holy names of the Lord, chanting the holy names of the Lord, chanting the holy names of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. But to develop Shraddha in that chanting the holy names of the Lord, so therefore we do services, we hear scriptures, we associate, to develop that attachment for the Lord through his holy names. That's why. So the Krishna consciousness movement is based upon this instruction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that one must chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly and according to the prescribed principles. Yes. So we have to chant at least 16 rounds, Srila Prabhupada is saying. And also, so we don't chant even 16 rounds, and instead we bring many austere books and worshipping methods, right? That diverts our attention in so many different ways. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult is based upon the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Lord Chaitanya first advised Tapan Mishra to fix his mind on this chanting. We, the members of the Krishna consciousness movement, must strictly follow this advice of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, next. Madhava. तारा इच्छा प्रभु संगे नवद्वीपे बसी प्रभु आज्ञा दिलो तुमी जाओ वाराणसी.
Desire to live with the Lord in Navadvip. The Lord asked him to go to Varanasi,
Banaras.
Benares.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Tapan Mishra about what is the goal of life and how to achieve that goal. And Tapan Mishra said, I want to live with you now. I want to go with you to Navadvip and I want to stay with you in your association. So the Lord said, I want you to go to Varanasi. Instead of coming with me to Navadvip, you go to Varanasi. Taha आम संगे तुम्हारा होबे दर्शन आज्ञा पाया मिश्र कोइलो काशीते गमना. Rasapriya.
The Lord assured Tapan Mishra that they would meet again in Varanasi. Receiving the order, Tapan Mishra went there.
Yes. So Mahaprabhu said, I want you to go to Varanasi. We are going to meet there in Varanasi. So Tapan Mishra left. So he was in East Bengal. So he went to Varanasi. प्रभुरा अर्थक्य लीला बुझते न पारी स्वसंग छाड़ाया के ने पाठाया काशीपुरी. Kalpesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances. Yes, Srila Prabhupada.
I cannot understand the inconceivable pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for although Tapan Mishra wanted to live with him in Navadipa, the Lord advised him to go to Varanasi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Priyanka Mataji, you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances.
When Tapan Mishra met him, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in household life, and there was no indication that in the future he would accept the sannyas order. But by asking Tapan Mishra to go to Varanasi, he indicated that in the future he would accept sannyas, and that when he would teach Sanatana Goswami, Tapan Mishra would take advantage of the opportunity to learn the object of life and the real process for attaining it.
Okay, so Mahaprabhu just told him, you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, right? In essence, he said, you just chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. This is the basic principle of understanding the goal of life and achieving the goal of life. But in future, they would meet in Kashi or Varanasi, Benares. And there, we know, after taking sannyas, Mahaprabhu goes there and he instructs Sanatan Goswami. So at that time, Mahaprabhu stays at Tapan Mishra's house. So Mahaprabhu is telling Tapan Mishra, you go to Varanasi. We will meet there. So this is what Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying. There was no indication that Mahaprabhu is going to take sannyas. He just got married. He's not even married the second time. He just got married to his first wife, Lakshmi Priya. He was a householder, but he said, you go to Varanasi. That means here we get the Lord is already saying that I'm going to take sannyas and I'm going to come there and I'm going to instruct Sanatan Goswami, and at that time all your questions will be answered in detail about what is the goal of life and how to achieve. So we have, if you read the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, there we have the instructions, the teachings that the Lord gave to Sanatan Goswami. So they are in detail. And also he did the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami, teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, like that. So we find them. Tapan Mishra will get it at that time. Okay, so we have 2 minutes. Maybe we'll read a little bit more. If they're small, short lines. Ei mata bangera lokera koila mahahita nama diya bhakta koila padaya pandita. Achintadev Prabhu, you are able to read?
Yes, Mataji. Translation.
In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu contributed the greatest benefit to the people of East Bengal by initiating them into Harinam, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and making them learned scholars by educating them. Thank you much.
Thank you. So Mahaprabhu is in East Bengal, Bangladesh, right? So there, so many students were coming. So we also heard about Tapan Mishra, but he's in East Bengal. And also we read earlier, all the students that came, he was engaging everyone in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra because he's the Supreme Lord. He always engages us in the in our, what's our main duty, what's our main dharma. So he would engage everyone in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Remember, the Lord has not yet revealed, he didn't go to, what do you say, Gaya, and, all that didn't happen yet. But yeah, he's inducing everyone in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, especially in East Bengal, we see that. So in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu contributed the greatest benefit to the people of East Bengal by initiating them into Harinam, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and making them learned scholars by educating them, both. Purport, Arunita.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Krishna consciousness movement is distributing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and inducing people all over the world to chant. We are giving people an immense treasury of transcendental literature, translated into all the important languages of the world. And by the grace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this literature is selling profusely and people are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with great delight. This is the preaching process of the Chaitanya cult. Since the Lord wanted this cult preached all over the world, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is acting in a humble way so that the vision of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may be fulfilled all over the world, especially in the Western countries. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu induced everyone in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So following in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, ISKCON is also distributing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed, following in his footsteps, ISKCON is also distributing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Distributing Hare Krishna Mahamantra means what? Inducing the people to chant Hare Krishna. Who? Which people? All people all over the world. So Srila Prabhupada is saying we are giving people an immense treasury of transcendental literature. Like Mahaprabhu also, not only was he giving them the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he was also making them learned scholars by educating them. So Srila Prabhupada is saying we are also giving an immense treasury of transcendental literature. And it's not just in English language, it's in so many different languages. So everyone can take advantage of this. So and Srila Prabhupada is saying we are able to do this by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this literature is selling profusely. People are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with great delight. The process of the Chaitanya cult, right? This is the preaching process of Chaitanya cult. What is the preaching process? Inducing people to chant Hare Krishna and giving them transcendental literature, whatever is there in this transcendental literature. This is the preaching process. Since the Lord wanted this cult preached all over the world, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is acting in a humble way so that the vision of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may be fulfilled. What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's vision? That Prithivite ate ache jatto nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe mor nam. As many towns and villages there are on the globe, right, on the entire planet Earth, in each and every town and village, my name will be chanted. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's vision. And to fulfill that, ISKCON is working in that direction. Ei mata bange prabhu kore nana lila, etha navadvipe lakshmi, virahe dukhi hoila. Okay. Next is Isha.
Because the Lord was engaged in various ways in preaching work in East Bengal, His wife, Lakshmi Devi, was very unhappy at home in separation from her husband.
Yeah. So meanwhile, what was happening at home in Navadvip? Mahaprabhu's consort Lakshmi Devi, she was experiencing great separation from her husband, and she was very unhappy. Prabhura viraha sarpa Lakshmi re damshila viraha sarpa vishetara paraloka haila. Krishna Shish.
The snake of separation bit Lakshmi Devi, and its poison caused her death. Thus she passed to the next world. She went back home back to Godhead.
Yeah, Madhava. Purport.
As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 8.6, Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Pavam Vigatyante Kalevaram. One's practice in thinking throughout his entire life determines the quality of his thoughts at death. And thus, at death, one obtains a suitable body. According to this principle, Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune from Vaikuntha, who was absorbed in thought of the Lord in separation from him, suddenly went back home to Vaikuntha after death.
Yes. So two things are there here. Thank you. One thing is Lakshmi Devi. It is said Lakshmi Devi was bitten by the serpent of separation. That means she was feeling so much separation from the Lord that she could not bear it anymore. So that separation was like poison, which killed her, right? She couldn't retain her life. And also it is said a snake bit her, right? But the main reason is actually, as it is said here, the snake of separation bit Lakshmi Devi. So then it is said she went back home, back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, why did she, leave or, give up her life here? Because of separation from the Lord. Separation means what? Constantly thinking of the Lord. So whatever is your consciousness at the time of giving up your body, tyajatyante kalevaram, at the end when you are giving up your body, whatever is your consciousness, that is your next destination. And she's constantly thinking of the Lord, so much so she's feeling separation from him, and so much that she actually couldn't, continue living in separation from him. So Srila Prabhupada is taking advantage. Of course, Lakshmi Devi is the eternal consort of the Lord, right? So it's not like an ordinary living entity that is giving up the material body, and it's not like that. But nevertheless, the separation is still separation. So, but Srila Prabhupada is explaining it to us. So one's practice in thinking throughout his entire life determines the quality of his thoughts at death. Thus, at death, one obtains a suitable body. According to this principle, Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune from Vaikuntha, who was absorbed in thought of the Lord in separation from him, certainly went back home to Vaikuntha after death. So, yeah, it's mainly for us, right? Taking this instance, Srila Prabhupada is taking this opportunity to instruct us. Antare janila Prabhu jate antaryami deshera aila Prabhu sachi dukkha jani. Rasapriya.
Lord Caitanya knew about the disappearance of Lakshmi Devi because he is the super soul himself. Thus, he returned home to
Solace
his mother, Sati Devi, who was greatly unhappy about the death of her daughter-in-law.
So Mahaprabhu is far away. Mahaprabhu is in East Bengal, and he is the Supreme Lord. What does he not know? He's Paramatma also. So Mahaprabhu understood that Lakshmi Devi left. So also, if Lakshmi Devi left, what is the condition of his mother? So he wanted to go and pacify his mother. That's why soon after this incident, he came back to Navadvip to pacify Sachi Devi. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya knew about the disappearance of Lakshmi Devi because he is the super soul himself. Thus he returned home to solace his mother Sachi Devi, who was greatly unhappy about the death of her daughter-in-law. Yeah, she was even thinking, what will I tell Mahaprabhu, right? I mean, Nimai, how will I face him, right? It's like he kept his wife under my care and I couldn't take care of her properly, like that. She was very much aggrieved. Ghare aila prabhu bahu laya dhana jana tattva jnane koila sachira dukkha vimochana. Kalpesh.
When the bringing with him great wealth and many followers, he spoke to Sachi Devi about the transcendental knowledge to relieve her of the grief she was suffering.
Yeah. So we read this in Chaitanya Bhagavat in detail. So when Mahaprabhu returned, so he came with, first of all, he came with his followers, but also there were so many that were waiting for him in Navadvip. So as soon as he came home, he was surrounded by all friends and he brought so much. When he returned from East Bengal, they were in great separation. So they said, we'll be your students. They just followed him, many. And then and they all brought so many gifts like costly silks and jewels and so many things, carpets and whatnot, so many things. And Mahaprabhu took all those gifts and he came to Navadvip. So when he came home, all the neighbors, his friends, they all came. Mahaprabhu has come back after a long time, and then he's spending time with them, talking to them. Also he is imitating the accent, East Bengal, they have a specific accent in which they speak Bengali. So Mahaprabhu is making fun of that accent, imitating their accent and making everyone laugh. Meanwhile, Sachimata doesn't even come in front of Mahaprabhu because she's feeling great anxiety. So she's hiding herself, from Mahaprabhu. She's not even looking into his eyes. She's just going here and there. Mahaprabhu notices that he knows everything, but so then he sends everyone away, all his friends, and then she's just sitting there, in grief, not knowing what to say. So Mahaprabhu comes home without giving her more trouble. He just said, I know what happened to your daughter-in-law, like that. She starts crying, and then she didn't have to tell him anything to pacify him. He was the one who was at first when he heard that something like this happened. He says like, I don't see, right, your daughter-in-law, like that. And then Sachimata starts crying, and then when he heard that Lakshmi Devi had left, for a moment, it appeared like, like an ordinary person would feel separation from his wife and he would become very sad. So he was like that. And then he actually started pacifying Sachimata. So that's what is said here in this shloka. When the Lord returned home, bringing with him great wealth and many followers, he spoke to Sachi Devi about transcendental knowledge to relieve her of the grief she was suffering. Purport. Priyanka Mataji.
It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 2.13, Dehinasman yathadehe komaram yovanam jara tatha dehantara prapte viras tatrana muhyati. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Such verses from the Bhagavad Gita or any other Vedic literature give valuable instructions on the occasion of someone's passing away. By discussing such instructions from the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, a sober man can certainly understand that the soul never dies, but rather passes from one body to another. This is called transmigration of the soul. A soul comes into this material world and creates bodily relationships with a father, a mother, sisters, brothers, a wife, and children. But all these relationships pertain to the body, not the soul. Therefore, as described in the Bhagavad Gita, Dhiras Tatrana Muhyati, one who is sober is not disturbed by such phenomenal changes within this material world. Such instructions are called Tattva Katha or real truth.
Yeah, this is how Krishna begins his instruction to Arjun also. Yes, when Arjun was feeling lamentation, how does Krishna instruct Arjun? He begins with, that you are not this body. Natveva ham jatuna samnatu. Right? We are eternal spirit souls. And then the next is Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam. So one who is sober, he is not bewildered by these changes. Not bewildered means it doesn't mean he doesn't have any feelings. Devotees have feelings, but it's not that, you are not in illusion. That is the point. See, feeling sad out of separation is one thing, and being completely bewildered and being in illusion, thinking that, oh, this person is dead now. Oh, that's a whole different thing. And I feel sorry because I don't have this person's association. But at the same time, if the person is a devotee, I feel happy. This is the bittersweet experience of a devotee when another devotee passes away. Bitter because I will not have this devotees association, physical association anymore. Right? We used to sing kirtans together. We used to discuss Krishna Katha together. We used to honor prasadam together. We used to talk to each other. So that is not there anymore. So we will feel separation. But at the same time, it is a sweet experience because what is the whole purpose of this life? Ultimately, we want to lead our life in Krishna consciousness and do something which will be recognized by Krishna. And then by that, if at the time of death we remember Krishna and if we go back to Krishna, if we please Krishna, that's the perfection of our lives. So if a nice devotee leaves this world, in whichever way, it does not matter, right? For a devotee, how he leaves his body is not a big thing at all. You die in an accident, you die of old age or whatever, it does not matter. What matters is how he lived his life, that is important. If he has lived his life in Krishna consciousness, however he leaves his body, it does not matter. Because whatever you do throughout your life, previous verse, right? Whatever you do throughout your life, that will be your consciousness at the time of death. So if a nice devotee leaves his body, then we feel happy. Oh, no more sufferings of birth, old age, and disease, right? Now this material body is finished, and this devotee has gone back to Krishna. He has perfected his life. So we feel happy. We feel happy for such a devotee. Whereas if you are in illusion, do you feel happy? You don't feel happy. You think, oh, he's dead. Everything is finished now. Oh no, he was enjoying so nicely in this. Now he's dead, right? So this is the difference, material illusion and Krishna consciousness. So that's what Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Dehinosmin Yatha Dehe, and that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing his mother when Lakshmi Priya left. And Srila Prabhupada is saying this is called Tattva Katha. Tattva means reality, right? What is the fact? That is also important. That's the foundation actually. That's the basis. We must have the Tattva clear. So yeah, so we will stop there. We will continue tomorrow. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you tomorrow.